Warning. We are about to spoil Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. If you haven't seen the film and you plan on watching it, then click away now. Or if you've already seen it, or you just don't care, then please stick around.
Hey!
Justin, come on.
Yes.
Do it right.
I did it right.
Do it right.
I think it was perfect.
Do it right, please.
Seems this film is done by a first-time director, Hayao Miyazaki. Doesn't seem like he's going to be going much further with his career after this one.
Good boy. Good. You get a reward.
Lupin the Third, more like Lupin the Second movie. Hey!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. Today is the only other time to this day that we've gotten a sequel that isn't fucking Lone Wolf and Cub.
Off the series wheel, yep.
Everything else has been the first movie, but nope, Lone Wolf and Cub we've landed on 3 fucking times. And this is, thank God, the next movie in a series that's actually really fucking good. So far, at least.
I thought you were going to just segue into the title sequence right there. It would have been good, but...
All right, well, you know what? It's fucking Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. And today, wow, this is, this movie is
For
really...
once we didn't go quiet because I was laughing about something.
Yes, you were, and it was a very funny joke, audience. Don't worry, it was like one of the best...
It was, but camera kept cutting out, except in the audio version where
it was just one of the best jokes I've ever made in my entire life.
Available on Spotify.
Oh my fucking God. We already plug ourselves in the description, so they can link...
So, no one reads the description. Do read the description, though. Find the artist that made this cool background.
Yeah, fucking Teller's Place. They are fantastic. I love them. All right, so... This movie
Shameless plugs aside.
Shameless plugs aside. This is the second movie in the Lupin III series, which so far has been really, really good. I will say, overall, I don't think we liked it as much as the first one, but it was still a really, really good movie.
Yeah, like, the first movie was 8 out of 10. This is 7.
Yeah.
It's like...
Still...
It's still good.
Still really good, though, so, yeah. But yeah, I'll let you go ahead with the synopsis, then we can get into the movie.
Oh, we can still banter a bit. Jeez.
Good. I mean, what do you want to banter about? I'm open to things.
I would just want to say, you could call us out for cheating on the first Lupin movie, but is it really that bad that we lied and cheat on a film about thieves?
I mean, frankly,
just saying.
I think it's kind of fitting, so...
It was on brand.
Exactly.
Well, on brand for the movie, on brand for us. We have to listen to the wheel, and then it abuses us by making us watch Onibaba. Go back and listen to that episode, too.
Yeah, thematically, it fits, so...
Also, this is the directorial debut of Hayao Miyazaki,
yep,
so that's interesting.
The very first theatrical movie he ever did, because before this, he actually directed a few episodes of the Lupin III TV show. That was back in the 70s, so...
Oh.
Yeah, and this was his first full-on theatrical movie. And for a debut film, really, really fucking solid.
Yeah, but we can get into that in a bit.
Hell yeah. First, let's see what Lupin is up to.
So, movie opens with Lupin and Gigan robbing a casino of all of its money. And of course, they get away because they're the greatest thieves ever. Goemon isn't here yet. He comes in later.
Yeah.
But as they're driving away in their buggy, literally flooding with cash, they realize it's all counterfeit.
Yeah, because I think one flies in Lupin's face, and he's just like, well, throw it out the window.
Just dump it. But they were really good fakes. So, they need to go find where they were made, and then steal the machines, because that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to they go to Spain, and then they go to a made-up country within Spain.
Yeah, I think it's literally just the castle grounds are like their own country.
Cagliostro.
And they pronounce it multiple different times in the film because it's pronounced Cagliostro, but sometimes they say Cagliostro.
So either there's a G or there isn't.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who
Probably
knows? There's like
people who
three
wrote
different. There's like three different pronunciations.
But on their way to their destination of some I forget why they. I think they were just driving into the country. They weren't even in a certain direction.
Justin, the car chase with the girl.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to get to why. Before the car chase, like they're just kind of heading in.
Yeah. It's because I knew.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of driving around hoping to find something.
Because he said, like, by process of elimination, I said it can't be here, 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 or here, so it has to be here somewhere. So they go in. I think you're right. I think they go into the country just kind of looking for it, or like he finds out like the city it's most likely to be in, or something like that.
Yeah. And as they're driving on a cliffside road, a woman drives past in a weighing gown very fast. And then a bunch of mobsters crammed in a car chase after her. So Lupin, being a good guy, helps her out, but finds out after taking out the mobsters, she kind of fell asleep behind the wheel. And gets over. Huh?
She like passes out for some reason.
It got too tense.
Yeah.
So Lupin gets in, helps get her out of the car right as it goes over a cliff, and he has a grappling hook now. This grappling hook will be a Deus Ex Machina throughout the film.
Yep.
Saves her, but the branch that off the cliffside that wrapped around breaks. They fall. Lupin gets knocked out, but the woman wakes up and tries to make sure he's okay by taking off one of her gloves, getting wet, and putting it on his head and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
No way, it was just to like use it like a sponge and give him water.
Yeah.
But she leaves the glove with him as the mobsters come back on a steamboat.
It's a straight steamboat. It's a really weird boat to have, a speed boat made out of.
It's like really fast, but it's clearly an old-timey steamboat.
Yeah.
And when Lupin wakes up, she's been captured again, and he looks inside the glove and finds a ring. The ring he recognizes because it's to a castle, but the castle burnt down. They go to the castle and it burnt down years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a groundskeeper there, and he's like, "Yeah, get off." Everyone lives in the castle over there now, and it's like, ooh, pretty castle. But he wants to return the ring to the princess, who he totally doesn't know. Oh, it turns out the woman is a princess. Her name is Clarice. But Lupin and Gigan go back to a hotel to try and think out their plan and learn a bit more that there's a royal wedding that's going to be happening, that she was a princess, and who the king is. It also turns out the king is the one counterfeiting money.
Yep.
And during this, they get attacked by ninjas, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're definitely going there. If they said ninjas, hell yeah. They also call in Goemon for help, and Lupin calls Zenigata to come and play as a guard. Well, okay, he doesn't know he's playing as a guard, but he gives an anonymous tip that the famous Lupin III is going to try and rob the royal wedding. Also, in the dub, they call him Wolf, and Lupin is just his nickname.
Yeah, no, it's the other way around, because he has the card that says Lupin, and I think Wolf is his nickname. At least that's what I thought.
It's oddly confusing.
Because he gives him the card, and the card says Lupin, and they say, oh, it says Lupin. And then he's like, oh, the wolf is back, or something like that.
Yeah, but everyone calls him Wolf like it's his first name.
I know,
That's weird.
It's a really weird thing, because I think this was, again, at the time when the Lupin name...
It's a dub problem.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
through antics, only Lupin... Well, Lupin was going to go with Keegan into the castle, but due to water or sewer and water shenanigans, only Lupin gets in.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and he's like, I'm going to save you, princess. But this is only the first act of the movie, so no. We also find out Fujiko is there in the castle, and she is trying to rob something. We don't really find out till the end. She's stealing the plates for the money.
Yep.
Okay, I'm getting events a bit confused because it's a lot of I will save you, princess, and then not saving the princess.
Yeah, it's really weird.
What the? That's just how movies work.
Mm-hmm.
That's how plot goes. Sorry, I was reading my notes and I just... the moment near the end where Fujiko's just like, that's a waste of time, and just pulls out a grenade.
Oh, yeah! That's right.
But, Lupin almost gets basically, they're about to break Clarice out again. Nope. I skipped ahead. Lupin does fall for a trap and gets sent down into basically a dungeon full of corpses. Zenigata was taken off the case by orders of the king, so that way he doesn't find any of the king's misdoings. Mm-hmm. Because he's evil. Ooh. And also, this is all being done because with the ring Lupin had and the ring the king has, you can find a secret treasure. And Lupin and Zenigata are both down in the basement. They decide to work together because it will just basically be a win-win.
Yeah, he gets to, do his thief stuff, and then he gets to lock up...
Get a big arrest.
Big arrest with the Count, so...
They almost succeed, but Lupin is almost killed and being shot a bunch.
I think he's only shot once, and it's like through the chest.
I thought it was at least 3, but still, that's a lot for him.
Because like he gets shot, and it's actually a really cool scene where like you see half of his tie get off, and like his clothes pop out, so it's not like super brutal, but you still see blood when he hits the roof.
Yeah. Clarice then offers to stay if the king will let Lupin live. He almost double-crossed her. Luckily, Zenigata was in a helicopter and grabs Lupin and Fujiko.
Well, Fujiko grabs Lupin because he's basically passed out at this point.
Yeah. He still technically grabs both of them.
Yep. They
go and get Lupin healed. It takes about 3 days, which means it's wedding day. They go in, they crash the wedding. Lupin also does a Dark Knight and Joker's all the cash right in the basement.
Yep.
Well,
he did that earlier.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm getting things confused.
It's okay.
Hold on.
I'm going to have to cut a lot of this silence out.
I know. It's a problem with trying to remember, and also we waited 2 days.
Yeah. Was it? Has it been? I thought it was 1 day. Was it 2? It was 2.
Technically.
Wow. It was 2.
Well, today would be the second day.
Yeah, you're right.
As everyone else is fighting in the main hall of the wedding to try and let Lupin and Clarice escape, they make it to a clock tower. The king gets there. They fight in the clock tower for a bit. The king just gets brutally murdered.
As per the course so far for Lupin villains.
Yeah, they're 2 for 2 for just, deaths on the main villain.
Yep.
And he technically dies because it turns out the clock tower is where you need to put the rings in order to open wherever the secret treasure is. Mm-hmm. Lupin and Clarice fall, but the grappling hook saves them. The king puts in the rings, and then the clock shifts to be like high noon or midnight, whichever you want it to be. but it crushes him, which makes me wonder how you were supposed to open the treasure.
Yeah, actually.
I guess it gave him a second to run to the exit, but
well,
still.
Here's the thing, though, is that we find out, that's not actually treasure, but we don't know.
Well, it's treasure in a technical sense.
But we don't know how, you're right, I don't know how he was supposed to escape that. Like, they had just had that short of a time period to escape, I guess.
They needed a grappling hook.
Yep.
Turns out that... Ow, I bit my tongue.
Nice.
Wow, my mouth has just been to hell at the moment.
So sorry, dude.
It turns out the treasure is a lost Greece city that was hidden under, like, inside of a dam under a bunch of water, and it's treasure because it's treasure for everyone to see the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it turned out Clarice saved Lupin back in his early robbing days because he tried to rob the castle before. Almost died, but since she was like 10 at the time, she was like, I will save this man, and did. Lupin says, you're welcome. And she's like, take me with you. He goes, no, and then leaves. And then the movie ends with most likely that entire small country going to be held for a bunch of crimes for using illegal money for literally their entire rule.
No, that's not it, because in that country they cheated because they said counterfeiting in that country was not illegal.
Yes, but since they traded with other countries, that's still going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And that's basically what was going into, is because, a little side thing.
Uh-huh.
No, not Zanga. Well, technically Zanga. Zanga and Fujiko was dressed up as a news anchor covering the wedding.
Yeah.
Which also, as everything was breaking out, she just keeps killing people who try to stop her and her cameraman. I don't know who this cameraman was, but he just kept filming no matter how many people she shot.
That was one of her best moments of the whole fucking movie, because it was just so funny. Because like she was like clearly having fun giving a play-by-play, and this is happening, and this is happening, and then she just casually like pulls out a gun and shoots someone behind her and just keeps going. Oh, that's great.
And Zangai, after working with Lupin earlier, tried to go to like the United Nations. It was like, there's a bunch of counterfeiting going on. They've been working with illegal money this entire time. But everyone there was paid off, so it's like, nope, nothing here. You're just crazy.
Yep, pretty much.
But since it was a live weighing, Fujiko came down with Zangai, and he's like, oh, would you look at this? A bunch of counterfeiting machines. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's really funny because he kind of just gets this sarcastic tone of voice in that ending scene. Yeah, so they're probably going to have a bunch of repercussions that are sadly going to fall on her head now that the Count is dead.
Since all the rest of the royal family is dead or gone.
Yep. So yeah, good luck with that, princess. See ya.
Happy ending.
Yeah. Again, I must say, for the first feature film Hayao Miyazaki ever did, it's still a really good fucking movie and an impressive debut, because watching this, you can see a lot of Miyazaki's touches throughout it.
Yeah, at first I was like, is this him showing his style, or is this him just making sure he keeps the tone of Lupin? But the more there were like those quiet moments looking at the beautiful backdrops or nature, I was like, no, this is very Miyazaki.
Yeah, and yet it doesn't feel too far out of place, honestly.
Yeah, it still keeps the same beats as the first movie, without feeling like the same pacing, I should say, not the same beats.
And for the most part, it's definitely still a very relaxing movie, as per most Miyazaki movies.
Yeah, well, the action is still really cool and still cartoony enough to be funny.
Yeah, like when it gets to the action is really fucking cool. Like, that first scene with the ninjas was fucking awesome. That whole fight scene was just cool as fuck.
Or that car chase.
Oh,
Like, the
so
cartoon
good.
logic there is so much fun.
Yeah, like he goes up and like drives on the side of the cliff, like on the top of the cliff, and then comes back down around the guys.
Yeah, or as they're grinding the princess's car against the rail, how it just tears
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah. And something that's interesting about the car as well is that well, if I can fucking find it, I just have my place. Done. But the car that he drives in the movie is a Fiat 500, and it was one of the most iconic touches to the series, because in the first car he just had kind of a smaller, fancier car, but I think throughout the rest of the Lupin series he does actually drive that Fiat 500.
Huh.
And Lupin's car, the one I just mentioned, it was actually the car of head animator Yaso Atsuka, I think is how you pronounce it. And then Clarice's car in the chase scene is a Citroën 2CV, which was Miyazaki's first car.
Huh.
So that's
what
kind
an
of cool.
interesting little detail.
Yeah.
Also, that makes this series 2 for 2 on car chases, because car chase in the first movie was also fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, they're 2 for 2 on two major things: an amazing high-energy car chase and a very brutal villain death. Jesus.
Honestly, that was just... And it's very zoomed out, so
Yeah.
it's not technically gory, but, it's a dude getting crushed between two clock hands.
Because, it zooms way the fuck out as he's about to get crushed, but, like, you see him, like, trying to push it apart and shit, but then it, like, cuts way out, and you see the clock hands and, like, his red suit in between, but then they just go together, and that's it.
Dead.
Just gone, dead. That was the Count's death. And the Count was actually played by one of the inspectors from Paranoia Agent, one of the detectives, which I knew his voice. I was like, I know his voice. I've heard it before.
We should cover Paranoia Agent sometime. That's a great fucking show.
Fuck yeah. Oh man, and if you want to check it out, don't worry, a Blu-ray is coming out this October. So buy it, support the show.
This month.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
this is the second week of October. It might be out by now.
It might be out by now, yeah. So go buy it on Blu-ray. It's the first time it's ever been available in the States in anything resembling a reasonable price. So.
Well, no, it was available for a while on DVD, then it went out of print, and it's been out of print till now.
It's been out of print for like a decade probably. It's been fucking forever.
Probably longer.
Yeah.
Than a decade.
Because before that, like we shit you not, that series, I know it's a side note, but that series went for like $1,000 for the whole fucking series.
Oh yeah, I think my brother got the 4 discs on eBay for like 900, no, not 9, like 400, $500.
Criminy. But yeah, now they're releasing a Blu-ray, and the steel case is $40. So the regular one will probably be cheaper. So fucking do that. Go buy that show. Watch.
Or it's
show.
on Funimation now as well.
Yeah. So definitely.
If you just like streaming instead of having physical media, like a loser.
So fucking yeah, one of the detectives played him, and I know Lupin's voice actor was the same. I'm pretty sure Zenyatta and the detective what was his sidekick again?
Gigan.
I'm pretty sure Gigan and the detective had the same voice. I'm not sure, but there were
the detective definitely did.
Yeah. But there were a couple of departures that were kind of weird in that sense. Because
Go Away Mods was so obvious.
Wow. Yeah, because in the first movie, he had this very deep tone of voice and was very much the stoic ninja. In this one, it's like more high-pitched. It's like, hey, guys, how's it going? Or something.
Yeah, it was clear that they got someone who could do, like, at least do a Japanese accent, or they did get a Japanese actor. I don't know.
Yeah.
In the first movie, but in this one, it's clearly just some American dude.
It's a noticeable difference, and Fujiko's is a little noticeable. I got used to it a little bit though. Like Goyomon's, I could not get past.
I got used to it, but the way Fujiko is written, she could basically be named something else and it would not change.
That's why when she revealed herself to be Fujiko, I was like, oh, that was Fujiko, sure.
That's why I kind of figured that because they kept oddly focusing on her in scenes, and I was like, is that supposed to be Fujiko?
Because, like, they show her sneaking around the castle and doing things, but yeah, she takes the glasses off. It's just kind of funny. It's like, sorry, I lied to you. Wait, who are you again? But yeah, her character changed a little bit, but yeah, so for the most part, they brought back a lot of the same cast, which was really nice.
At least for this dub. Doesn't this have like 4 different dubs or something?
Oh no, that was Mystery of Mamo. This one has 2 different dubs, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
And the second one was a manga one, which I think also added needless profanity to it. And
Why?
I have no idea because fucking manga like to do that apparently. But another very fun fact about the manga dub is fucking in the guy who voiced Lupin in the second one is David Hayter, Solid Snake himself.
I don't think I like the idea of David Hare voicing Lupin.
That would be a little weird, wouldn't it?
Well, then again, he might not be doing his deep voice.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know how much range David Hare has.
He has a fairly decent range, because I was listening to the stream where he signed the fucking photo for me, and his normal talking voice is not that deep. It's a little bit higher or something like that, so...
Well, yeah, I know it's not as deep as Snake. He needed to drink whiskey for the 4th game.
Yeah, well, that's because he deliberately had to crack his voice. Like, he can basically do this, like, naturally, he said. But, like, he had to, like, deliberately go raspy for old Snake, and it literally just shot his voice.
So we needed to do shots to unshot the voice.
Yeah, pretty much. Because whiskey coats your throat. But yeah, back to Lupin. Where do I even go from here? I know this was a little bit of a, back and forth here, but what should we focus on first?
I kind of want to focus on one silly thing they imply.
All right, sure.
Where, okay, they explain that the royal family had been counterfeiting literally for all the time they've been in power.
They caused the stock market crash in the 20s.
Yeah, they imply that they're the reason the stock market crashed, which I was just like, really?
No, they don't.
I think they even. Oh, they say it.
They
Sorry,
straight
they don't
up say it. Yeah, they don't imply. They straight up say, and they caused the stock market crash of the 20s. I'm like.
Just everything that had to do with money was their fault.
It was all the royal family. It was a little ridiculous.
The Cagliostro ruined the economy.
The economy. God damn it.
And again, I do just love the fucking because they need to get Clarice out of the room in order to get to the helicopter.
Yeah.
And the windows are like bulletproof. You can't break it with a chair. And fucking I can't. Fujiko. I don't know why I keep like hesitating on her name.
Interesting.
But Fujiko just goes, "That's a waste of time," as Clarice hits it with a chair and just pulls out a grenade and tosses it.
Of course.
Because Fujiko is also in like a military jumpsuit for some reason.
She's in that for a lot of the movie. This really weird like camo jumpsuit, for sneaking into a castle.
Also, Lupin sneaking into the castle the first time must have been super uncomfortable because he was in his normal clothes, and over that he wore Zenigata's outfit, so that way he could look like he could get past guards.
Yeah.
And he wore a wetsuit so he could swim in the sewer.
Yeah, so he was wearing his normal gear on top of the Zenyatta disguise, on top of a wetsuit.
I don't know. I've never been in a wetsuit.
Uh-huh.
But anyone who has, please tell me how uncomfortable it is just to wear, a suit.
Yeah.
Like, because Lupin's normal clothes is a suit, tie, undershirt, and dress pants.
Yeah.
So wear that and then put a wetsuit over it and tell me how comfortable that is.
Yeah, like I've worn a wetsuit before, but I've never actually worn anything like, under said wetsuit. So
aren't they like skin tight, basically?
Yes. Yeah, it depends on the wetsuit really. I think the one I was wearing was a little looser, but yeah, they're supposed to be really tight, to keep you waterproof. So
it's just weird.
Just on top of that, so
yeah, those are just a few odd things.
Yeah, so those were a couple of odd details, but the rest of the film was really solid. Like I said, the action when it happens is really fucking cool. So
Yeah, and the ninjas are creepy because they have like this gorilla movement, and they have these gloves with long spiky fingers.
So like, yeah, they're basically just knives on each finger that they use to like, thrust their hands at and try to cut people. But yeah, again,
They wanted to Freddy Krueger people.
Yeah, but the scene at night when they break into the hotel is just really cool. I just love the action. Like it was just so fast because like they stab it and then someone blocks it, and then like his partner grabbed the gun and then shot it off, and then Lupin like throws something on the ground to explode to blind them, and it's just the way it explodes is just cool because like his eyes are like the only thing you see, and it's just rad as fuck.
Well, he throws down a flashbang and quickly puts on sunglasses or something.
And it's a very anime thing where the sunglasses are all white or something like that. It just looked cool as fuck.
Yeah, that whole scene was just awesome.
Yeah. And then the final action scene too was really good. Like even when like chaos broke out in the church and all that.
Oh yeah, just everything going to hell. Goemon slicing up dudes. And fucking... Okay, this is PG-13.
Yes.
And Gigan just has an anti-tank rifle. Yeah. Just straight up has an anti-tank rifle. Those people are fucked.
Yeah, like he clearly shoots a couple people with it. Those people are just dead, straight dead. And I think there's
a lot of murder in this, actually.
And there's a scene as well where like they're trying to break out of the castle in the middle of the film when she's with the Clarice, and like they open a door and she just like straight out pulls a machine gun, fires it at people, and I think you see some blood come out of them, and they're I'm like, well, they're dead.
In the hotel scene when they're struggling with the ninjas, Gigan gets a straight up headshot out, and I'm pretty sure it flashes red for like half a second.
I think he headshotted him, but there was like armor underneath, I'm pretty sure.
Still an attempt. It's still on the headshot list.
No, it is. I'm not arguing.
On my letterbox, shameless plug.
I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying I think there was armor underneath. Like it shot him in the head and he like stumbled back. But still
pretty brutal.
He at least has a concussion from that. Like that's not going to protect you from, a bullet going into armor.
Yeah. Random fun fact: the U.S. tried to make a bulletproof face mask for like SWAT and soldiers. There was one problem. If you got shot in the mask, it would knock you unconscious.
Yeah.
Because it would stop the bullet, but all the force of the bullet would be put into the mask, which pushes against your face and knocks you out.
Exactly. It's still a bullet flying at you at the speed a bullet normally does. So...
Yeah, that force needs to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Just find that funny to imagine someone like kicking down doors like... Police! Bang! Just knocked unconscious.
Falls back. Yeah, like it's like there's a fucking like James Bond Q lab where they're just testing, and they like fire the gun in his face and it just gets knocked out. It's like, God damn it, not again.
I would hope it'd make a frying pan style ding when you shot it. Just
that would be amazing.
Anyway, random tangent over.
Yeah, that and the characters were still really well done. I know that a lot of people, it wasn't really a complaint, but they pointed out how Miyazaki kind of changed a lot of their personalities, and for some like hardcore fans that wasn't too well received, but it's very different than, especially the side characters, because Lupin's doesn't change all that much, honestly.
Well, Lupin isn't as much of a horn dog, but the person he's protecting was a person he knew originally as a 10-year-old who saved his life.
And it's not really just even in the horny aspect. It's just that he's definitely more of a valiant hero than an anti-hero as portrayed in the last film and in the comics, I guess.
Yeah, but again, it makes sense here because it's the person that saved his life.
Because he's trying to repay a debt. Exactly. You can see his motive for not being, a straight-up piece of shit. But the one I noticed kind of the most was, is his sidekick Gigan?
Yes, Gigan.
His was the one I noticed the most because instead of being like, even partners, he was very much more of Lupin's sidekick, kind of just following him around and doing whatever Lupin says.
Oh, so Goemon was a lot less stoic. He was just... Yeah. He also was just more of like following orders, like, okay, boss.
Yeah, pretty much. But like that's one of the things that Gigan says the most is like, "What now, boss? Okay, boss. What boss? Boss?"
Boss.
Yeah. Whereas in the other movies, they have arguments and he's not afraid to just walk away if it doesn't benefit him. So,
Yeah.
And of course, like, I get why they changed Fujiko, because in the last movie, and I guess in most of them, there's very much erotic elements to her. So I get why they toned.
Part of her character is she uses how hot she is to get past people.
Exactly. So I get why they toned that down a little bit.
Actually, this is just a random thing I noticed.
Uh-huh.
Because last movie, like you said, Fujiko is very erotic, and they try to show her off.
Oh, absolutely. They absolutely show her off.
In this one, there was a lot of ass shots on Lupin.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm not mad. It's
exactly. It's like Lupin kind of has more of a plump ass than Fujiko.
It's funny when it's just a very odd experience when the male main character is more sexualized than the female. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Same. It's like, fucking hell, John.
I agree with the Metal Gear Solid school of character design where everyone is hot as hell.
Exactly. Everyone has a great ass. Male, female, doesn't matter. Everyone has a great ass.
Are you a 50-year-old man? Guess what? You get a plump ass in Metal Gear Solid.
You get a good ass, boy, big boss. You get a good ass. But yeah, and then like everyone else is the same. It's just I think I noticed Daisuke, fucking his partner. I always forget.
Gigan.
I'm forgetting that one for some reason, but Gigan and Fujiko I definitely noticed the most.
Yeah, like we said earlier, Fujiko could have been a completely different character and nothing would have changed.
Yeah, it honestly, like I would have understood if that was not Fujiko, but it was, so.
She turned out to be an international spy, or if she turned out to be an undercover cop. Either will have worked the same.
Yep.
At least will have explained why she had the camo outfit, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, isn't the whole point of wearing a camo jumpsuit so that you blend in? I'm going to
blend into the gray walls of a castle.
With camo, of course.
Where'd that lady go? Oh no, there's new moss on the wall.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like very obviously her. It's just like, where did she go?
Also, okay, her hair color changes.
Yeah, she's a blonde for most of the film instead of, what was it, more of a redhead?
I think it was a redhead last movie. Or brunette, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, so going by the logic of she's changing her hair to blend in or whatnot, you wear green and you have bright yellow hair.
To blend in.
Where are you hiding? In a tree looking right at the sun?
Yeah, I know, right? It just doesn't fucking make sense for where she's trying to hide out,
It makes me laugh.
Yeah, like I would have actually gotten if like the blonde hair was a wig or something and she takes it off to actually go stealth around, but
yeah, or she like put a hat on or a hood.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
or ski mask, whichever.
And the animation is still really fucking solid. It's still very up to standard, especially for a film made a year after Mamo. So,
yeah, these were both made in the 70s, right?
Yep. Mystery of Mamo was 78, and this one was 79. So,
I completely couldn't tell. It felt like, I would say it had almost 90s level animation, which is super impressive.
It was very, 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 very super high standards, and probably because, they had a much higher budget as well, because I always forget, too, that sometimes that Akira was made in 1988, yet that looks like it was made in, like, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I guess, they gave a lot of budget because, Lupin III is an iconic manga series. It's arguably one of the most well-known ones, so...
Yeah, you don't hear many people... don't think I've heard a single person talk about the film, so...
Yeah, so isn't that interesting? So I'm glad we're doing this, and because so far the series has been really fucking solid. The music is still fucking bitchin'. I love it.
I'm sorry, you said that. It sounded like you said pigeon for
What
me.
what happened was I in my brain I said jammin', but I tried to say bitchin', so it came out as bitchin'.
The pigeon.
Yes, but the music is still great. I think it was the same composer for the first movie that came back for this one, and it's
just so jazzy.
So jazzy. It's so beboppy, and I goddamn love it. Oh, it's so good.
Also, the villain, just I don't want to say he's like great, but as just a villain, he's solid. He's evil. You kind of get he's just kind of evil for evil's sake. There's no real oh, that's why you're doing this. It's just I want money.
Yeah, it's not deep or anything, and I know this was geared more towards a younger audience, like teens or whatever. But yeah, at the same time, it's not a deep villain or anything. It's just he's good, serviceable, very greedy bastard.
He's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, are we just going to ignore the fact he was about to marry his cousin? That's just...
Was it?
That's just kind of... Well, yeah, they're both in the same royal family. Just their family got separated eventually because it grew so big.
Yeah.
But they were going to come back together, which is just kind of icky.
What in the cousin fucking... Alabama?
Unless I'm getting that wrong, but...
I don't know.
He was probably just going to kill her anyway and then get whatever the treasure was.
Get the treasure for himself or whatnot. But everything about this film, it's just a good fucking movie. I didn't like it. I don't think it's as good as the first, but it's still a really, really solid movie and one that I definitely recommend watching.
Yeah, and also it's clear where it's a Hayao Miyazaki film, as we said earlier, and it's kind of interesting to see where he started.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as like the guy came in on that weird airplane looking thing that wasn't an airplane, I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely a Miyazaki film.
Yeah, or just all the nature shots, like especially the opening credits. There's so many glamour shots of beautiful backgrounds,
which I'm pretty sure they actually took from like a lot Miyazaki's like drawings, like traveling around. So,
well, that's nice.
Yeah. Also, fun fact about this film.
I like fun facts.
Yes.
And I do like this film, so go on.
Hell yeah. Just a little behind the scenes stuff. It says the production for the film began in May 1979 with the writing of the story and storyboarding for the film. Miyazaki began by drawing a bird's eye view of the setting before creating the story to completion. After the first draft scenario was returned to Miyazaki without change, he began the storyboards. The story was divided into 4 parts, but after reaching the 3rd part, changes had to be made to the storyboard phase in order to not exceed the desired running time. Animation work began in July while the storyboards were only a quarter complete. Miyazaki had to complete them during the production. And grand total, it says production wrapped up at the end of November, and the film's premiere was in the 15th of December 1979, which was a short 7.5 months from the project's undertaking, with only 5 months of production time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they did this in total of 7 months.
Fuck it. What's the dude's name? He made the original Little Shop of Horrors.
The one in the 50s?
Yes.
Roger
Corman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Roger Corman, eat your fucking heart out. Yeah. This film was made in 5 months?
Yeah, well, the production was made in 5 months. From the time they started, it was 7 months. So, like, when they start from
7 months for this good of a movie. That's fucking impressive.
Isn't that ridiculous?
And it was done on the it was approved on the first draft.
Yep, first draft. He got sent back without any change, and then he went right into storyboards. So yeah, it began in May 1979 and was released in December of 1979.
Also, that's a really interesting way to do what's technically a heist movie, of doing an overview map.
Yeah.
And planning it out from there.
Yeah, isn't that fucking cool?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so...
There's our first time directorial debut that's terrifying to compare yourself to.
Right, exactly.
I made a fantastic Lupin movie. in 7 months.
Yep. As my first feature-length movie. Fuck you.
Eat shit.
Pretty much. It just really goes to show how good of a fucking animation director Miyazaki is.
I need to actually watch more Miyazaki. Me and my brother plan on doing a nice marathon in October.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because, what says horror like Miyazaki?
Exactly. But yeah, is there anything else we have to say on this?
No. I think that's about it.
Yeah, because one thing I do have to say is someone actually corrected us in our review of Mamo. Someone commented, because we said, why not just call him Lupin? Why call him Wolf or something? It turns out Wolf is actually the literal translation of Lupin. And at the time, the estate the guy who wrote the original Lupin novels in like the 1800s or whatever, they had a really big copyright crackdown on the name. So they just kind of had to use Wolf.
Huh.
So yeah, thank you to the person who corrected us there, who I'm going to find out so I can call them out by username.
And that's enough of a pause for you to edit that in.
Yep.
Besides that, I guess it's time to...
Rupan Sensei is his name.
Okay.
Thank you. So anyway, it is time, my dudes.
I guess it's time to get to the series wheel.
Fuck yeah. See what series we get next.
What TV series do we have next? Because we just finished Star, and now next we have...
We have Bubblegum Crisis.
Right.
Tokyo
Okay, so
2040.
Next episode will be Bubblegum Crisis Part 1, and then whatever movie we land on as soon as we... Well, actually, wait, hold on.
You got this.
As soon as we spin. Ooh, something for October.
All right, what do we get?
We're getting the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Fuck yeah.
This is... Okay, the reason Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street are on here, Scream is... basically watchable for all movies, and there's only 4 of them. Now there will be 5, and we will probably have to sit through that because it will come out before we're done with this wheel.
Yep.
And the reason we have Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'll probably mention this again in the episode, is because out of all the long-running slashers, Nightmare on Elm Street is always entertaining, even at its worst.
Yeah, even the bad ones have something redeemable and worth watching about them. So
either the kills or just honestly being funny.
Either the kills or just, Robert Englund being a badass.
Robert Englund is fantastic. We are not covering the remake.
No, sorry, that's where we draw the line. We are not covering that. It's just bad.
It's just the first movie done worse.
Yeah.
If you want someone to cover it, go watch Dead Meat.
Yeah, it's the first movie done worse, and it frankly gets way too uncomfortable. So.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But we'll talk about that a bit more. We'll mention the remake in the next episode.
So yeah, and we're not reviewing it, just mentioning it, because that's all it deserves.
That's all it deserves.
So yeah, stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you next time.
I got nothing.
All right.